Alright, class, for the module on pick a topic of your own to discuss, I decided to talk about the city we work for, North Lauderdale. Just give you some history on it, some stuff maybe you didn't know, and maybe you'll learn a couple things. I will be honest, I didn't even know North Lauderdale existed until I got the call to come in and interview for the department after taking the mesh test. I don't think I've ever really been west of 441, besides like on the way down to the Keys. So I was surprised to even know that there was a city out there. So this was kind of good for me to learn a little bit about the city. It was incorporated into Broward County in July of 1963. And currently there's about 42,000 people residing in the city. And like back in the day, back in probably like before the 1960s, it was just all a lot of agricultural land, a lot of pasture and farming, and there wasn't much development out there. Our city is about 4.6 square miles in area, and it was designed, and this is like the interesting part, by this guy named Marcus Lapidus. He is an architect whose architecture helped to redo Collins Avenue in Miami Beach. And you're probably familiar with a couple of the places that he has redone, one of them being the Fontainebleau. And it was actually featured in, Goldfinger, one of the James Bond movies. And his style of architecture is pretty recognizable, I'd say. He's known for a Baroque style, and it's a lot of curves and not so much of hard lines and square architecture that you might see on more of like an office type building or whatnot. His architecture is pretty much artistic in a sense, and that laid the foundation for designing North Lauderdale. And I'm sure that after working there, we probably don't think of the city as very artistic by any means, but if you look at the layout of the actual streets and everything on a map, our BOC, or our Boulevard of Champions, that was his design. That, round circle with all the enclaves and everything coming off of it, that was Marcus Lapidus. And he is the one who coined the term of the city of tomorrow. And really what prompted him to design a city out west after, doing all that work in Miami Beach and gaining a lot of respect and getting his name out there as an architect after doing that work, was that in the 1970s or so, Miami Beach, early 1970s, late 1960s, Miami Beach was getting to be a place for the rich and famous to move. And a lot of the families that were down there, weren't really into the hustle and bustle that Miami Beach had to offer, so everybody started moving west. And moving west was, a more quiet, more suburban lifestyle that families wanted, and so that prompted a lot of the westernly cities, our neighboring towns of Tamarack, Coral Springs, stuff like that, to start getting developed and built up for family life. And so that's what Marcus Lapidus had in mind, and he saw that opportunity, and he saw the way that the Sun Belt was getting built up, and he took that opportunity and he designed North Lauderdale. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Just some random facts. Our crime rate was 17% higher than the U.S. average last year. This is actually from 2013, the census, and when you're running our calls, just be aware that only 22% of our population have any education beyond, that 22% of our population have an education less than a high school degree or diploma. So, and that's, 22% of all, I don't want to say viable, but possible adults to have graduated high school. And in terms of our fire department, we run an average, according to the census, of 5,500 calls annually. And interestingly, in 2013, supposedly there was only 3 reports of arson. There was only 1 homicide. So that kind of makes our city look, not so bad and kind of safe. but that crime rate still exists, and it's 17% higher than the U.S. average. And that's about it. So I hope I taught you a little something you didn't know about North Lauderdale. Thank you.